Hello once again, and you're back with Mark, the artist, answering questions. And today I've got some great questions. But as I promised last week, I would show you some of my artwork, so you can see where I'm up to. So this is one of my resin tables, and I can't really tell if you can see that because I'm just using the same camera. So these are some seascape paintings that I'm working on, which you may find interesting. And then there's some stuff there that's had a final coat of resin that's probably ready to be framed. So there you go. I don't just make videos, I actually do some painting. So today I've got three sort of questions from the same person. So it's a Barbara Witkowska special. Barbara Witkowska is an artist. She's very good. I went to university with her, and you should really check her out. I'll probably put a link to her website in the comments. So yeah, and Barbara's asked me some questions. So without further ado, I'll answer them. Right, so the first question, and they're all hard ones as well, and I haven't really thought too much about them, so I'm just going to answer them ad hoc. Describe how art is important to society, open bracket, or maybe is not. What is your point of view? Well, my point of view is that art's pretty important, and it's pretty important on a personal level, and it's pretty important on a connection level, because with visual arts particularly, you can connect directly to somebody else, and you don't need a whole host of explanation or other stuff to explain it. But universities will have you think differently, but actually you can just have a straight up visual connection. And there's something in the unconscious. You can just, if you're good, you can create a bond which is like emotion to emotion. So an artist that's great will just have that emotion in there, and then someone will see it and they'll just connect to it, and you don't need a 5 million page explanation. Concept's always good, but concept is like a battle plan. As soon as you start painting or making something, the concept kind of disappears on contact with the enemy, like the plan. So that would be a sort of answer to that question. I think historically art has been important, particularly when Picasso painted Guernica, because he really stopped Spain getting involved in World War II, and that's the reason we're not all speaking German at the moment. Well, I speak German, but very badly. A bit like Del Boy speaks French. So I would argue that because Picasso was so loved in America, and he painted this big picture about a German atrocity prior to them invading France, that they were a bit like, ooh, maybe politically Spain was a bit like, maybe we shouldn't side with the Nazis. So I think Guernica was particularly important for that reason. And I know lots of humorous anecdotes that go with that as well, but that would take the video to, it would be long and no one would watch it. So, okay, so that's historically art has been important in the past, and on a personal level, I think it's quite important because you can make a basic human connection. And on a social level, yeah, I think so. I think it's coming back. I think I think art, in my opinion, has been railroaded by the academics, and it's like, ooh, look at these bricks we've got, and they mean this, and look at this tinfoil dog we've got wearing a little hat, and it's all related to something to do with communism. I don't know. All those concepts, they leave me a little flat. It's like, just, if something's great, you can sort of almost imbibe it. If the concept's there to start with, great, but then the concept always gets lost in the process, as far as I'm concerned, in great art. There's probably the odd exception to the rule. Okay, and the last question is, who are your biggest artistic influences? Where do you find your inspirations? It's sort of a two-part question. So my biggest influences were Jasper Johns. He made me get into textured painting because I saw that American flag that he painted when I was younger, and I was like, I want to paint like that. So that's why I really like texture in my work. Terry Shave, because I went to an exhibition and I saw that he'd put a load of bedding resin on his work, and it was absolutely fantastic. I didn't know what it was made of, and I was like, I want to work with resin, but I didn't have a clue. So I just started mixing up my own, and then I came up with my own formulas and stuff. It was ages before I actually revisited it and did it properly. So yeah, so it's been quite an interesting learning curve with the resins. So yeah, Terry Shave is he's actually got a studio over there. So there we go. He's actually local. I tell him that he influenced me greatly, but I think he just gets embarrassed. And where do I find my inspiration? I'm just trying to keep the video short. I find my inspiration everywhere. For me, color is the most important thing. So I like to see things that I don't see very often, and I like unusual things and patterns. And when I see something, you know, basically just take in experiences, and then, oh great, somebody started with a drill. Yeah, well, my studio was quiet as a button until I started doing these podcasts, and now everybody seems to be listening to the radio and drilling things. Bless them. Okay, so I hope that's answered your questions, and if you like what you see, subscribe and obviously like the like button, and I will see you next time. And if you're not having a good day, sorry, try and have a better day. If you're having a good day, fantastic. No, it stopped. Brilliant. Anyway, right, you take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.